Heyo, OmniDogs and OmniKittens. It's OmniDog here with what was going to be a rant, but I decided instead of a rant, polite suggestions, because I figured you attract more flies with honey than vinegar. So I've got suggestions instead of an angry rant. Because DC announced a Why the Last Man Omnibus. Now, the only reason I can think they announced an omnibus is because there's going to be a Why the Last Man television show. And yes, I'm the last person on earth to say television instead of TV. Okay, but here's the issue. Why the Last Man is already available in 5 deluxe editions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that are still in print and still beautiful. Why is also still available in absolute form. Why do we need a 1,600-page omnibus when those two formats are still available? That we're in a niche market, and the omnibus is a niche in a niche. And somebody would say, well, because it's because of the TV show. No casual fan is going to watch the TV show and walk into a comic book store and say, hey, what do you got about Why the Last Man? And the guy's going to hand him a tombstone of an Omni and say, here, try this $150 book. They're going to hand him a trade and say, read this first trade and come back and tell me what you think. So this omnibus, I think, is really kind of overkill and pointless when you still have the deluxe versions available and the absolute. And I think there are a lot better candidates out there to be omnibized by DC. And you say, well, great, Jess. Like what? I got some ideas. And on the 1 in 10 billion chance that this actually gets to somebody at DC, these are all polite suggestions as to what you can put in omnibus format that would sell. I have been reading comics for 55 years. So I know a little bit about comic books, and I know a lot about what a fan would buy. These are books that a fan would buy and fans would buy a lot of. You have, DC, a lot of material to work with. Let's start with the 2 most popular characters in the world that don't have very many omnibuses. Superman and Batman. There's woefully little giant collected editions of Superman and Batman. Let's start with the most obvious example. John Byrne's Man of Steel. It's hard enough to even find. You can't even find. Is this volume 4? No, this is volume 7. Volume 4 of this is wildly out of print, and you can't even make a full collection of these because volume 4 is so hard to find. Omnibus this, and this will sell out. I promise. If this doesn't sell out, you can come to my house and break one of my bombshell statues, DC. I promise. This is a guaranteed bestseller. John Byrne's Man of Steel Omnibus, guaranteed bestseller. People want that. Lots of people. I am on Facebook. I'm the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community page. It's one of the #1 most requested collected editions. It is a guaranteed seller. Batman. Lots of story choices there. You could collect lots of different Batman stories. Let's start with No Man's Land. Now, it's available in trade paperback, but what about an omnibus starting with the out-of-print Cataclysm? You can get a couple of omnibuy starting with the out-of-print Cataclysm that fans would buy. Guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. Honest. I promise you. Guarantee you that. What about, let's say, Hitman? Everybody loves Garth Ennis' Hitman. Nobody hates it. Everybody loves it. This thing gets rave reviews. Now, it's coming out in collected editions, which is good because a lot of these are hard to find now. This is volume 7. Yeah, closing time. But a lot of these are hard to find. It's coming out in collected editions. Okay. Make an omnibus of this, people will go crazy. Hitman is wildly popular. Everybody loves Hitman. It's crazy, goofy, over-the-top fun. It's even got Batman in it. Omnibus success guaranteed, DC. I promise you. Now, here's two books that don't get any love at all and really deserve love, even if you made deluxe editions out of it. Deluxe editions, because a lot of these are out of print, and a deluxe edition would be good. Omnibus would be even better. I'm talking about Jonah Hex and All-Star Western. All-Star Western is one of the best things that came out of New 52, and they both happen to be by Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray, whom I have huge adoration for as writers. Jimmy Palmiotti also pisses me off because not only can he write, he can also draw. Darn him, he's one of those multi-talented guys. Jonah Hex, All-Star Western. Omni buys that, DC. I guarantee you, people will buy it. Here's a book. Promise you, DC, people will buy this. Why The Last Man? Meh. The Question. People will climb all over other people to get to the LCS to buy an omnibus of The Question. Number 1 is out of print. Number 3 is out of print so badly people can't even make a collection out of these trade paperbacks. They're so out of print. You go into an LCS, I doubt you can find any of them. You got to go online to find them. And 3 is going for silly money. Just reprint 1 and 3 and people would probably be happy. But Omnibus, The Question, one of the best things written back in the day. The Question is an iconic character, one of Dennis O'Neill's greatest writing things. Please, make an omnibus of The Question. This thing's a guaranteed bestseller. Nail it. Make it an omnibus. I'm begging you, baby. DC, come on. Make an omnibus of this. Now, here's something that's sort of got an omnibus, but it's kind of got multiple formats, and I think you should sort of make up your mind on what format you want this to be, and that's New 52 Justice League. The first part of it is in absolute, then in the middle there's nothing, and then the last part, the Dark Side War, is in omnibus. So you got absolute, nothing, omnibus. I think you should, in my humble opinion, settle on a format and issue it like that. In my perfect world, it'd be omnibus, omnibus, omnibus. And then you'd have one of the best New 52 runs. I loved Jeff Johns' New 52 run of Justice League. I loved it all the way through. It was a great run. It deserves to be omnibized. Brilliant run. It'd be a brilliant move on your part, DC, to make an omnibus out of it. Just saying. Just a suggestion. I'm thinking it'd be a big hit. Now, how about, whoops, I already said Batman No Man's Land. How about Tom Strong? There's 2 deluxe editions, but they're kind of hard to find now. And then there's some like smaller standard hardcovers and smaller trades. You make an omnibus out of this guy. These are great books. Some of the most interesting science fiction that's ever come out. I have no idea what your relationship is with Alan Moore. Don't care. All I care about is the content. Make this an omnibus. Make it an absolute. I don't care. Collect the whole thing in an omnibus or an absolute format. Boom, you have an instant sales sales sensation, I'll say. Tom Strong, omnibize that, baby. Guaranteed. Getting back to Superman. How about the new Krypton series? People liked it. Omnibize that. It was enough material that you could omnibus it, and people would like it. And there needs to be more Superman out there in omnibus format. You've got 1,000 issues to choose from. You could do us a favor and do more Superman, really. This is from the heart. I've been reading DC since I was 5 years old, and that was a long time ago. Yeah, so I love you, DC. you're my guys. Even though this whole back thing is Marvel, my DC's over there and over there and over there and over there. Sorry, this just happens to be where the chair is. So my Marvel's there, but my DC's surrounding me. So here's another DC book that's kind of hard to make a collection of because one of the volumes is out of print, and that's Starman. Even though this says Omnibus, these are really just deluxes. Make an omnibus out of this because this is volume 1, but volume 3 has been hard to find for at least 5 years now. The year's 2019. Volume 3 has been out of print for 5 years, so you can't really put a collected edition together, a collection together. It's hard to put, what is it, 1 through 6? It's blocked by an issue. I think it's 6 volumes. It's hard to put a whole collected edition together. But I'm telling you, people love this James Robinson run. Make an omnibus of this, people will buy it. Honestly, people will buy it. Promise you that. Okay, here's another suggestion. I got a lot of suggestions for you. And really, this is coming from the heart because I love you, DC. Scalped. Volume 2's already out of print. Now, this is the deluxe, which is very nice, but it's getting harder for people to put a complete collection together because Volume 2's out of print and commanding dumb prices on Amazon and eBay now because Volume 2's hard to find. And eventually, some other volumes are going to get hard to find too. You make an omnibus out of this, this thing is a huge hit. It is a critical darling. It is a fan darling. People love this book. You make an omnibus out of this, ching ching, cash register sounds, people gonna buy it. Let's talk about, well, I got a couple of absolutes that are out of print. Top 10. Now, just because it's unsealed doesn't mean, just because it's sealed doesn't mean I don't love it. I read it in trade format several times and I just haven't opened this to read it in absolute format, but I loved it. I'm famous for not opening books until I'm ready to read them, and I just haven't gotten around to reading this in absolute format, but I promise you I've read it, and I love it. This is a great book, and you make an omnibus of this, or even deluxes of this, people will come running, because this is a fantastic series. Or even reprint top 10 in absolute form. Do that. Cash register sounds. If I had a talent in editing, I would edit in cash register sounds. Here. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. People will buy it. Now, I had Absolute Promethea up, but you've already started to put it out in deluxe editions. That's great, because it really needs to be reprinted, and kudos to you for putting it out in deluxe edition. So we'll consider this a win and not worry about it. Now here's a book that needs to be reprinted in omnibus format and really should be next on your list. 100 Bullets. The problem with 100 Bullets is, yes, it's in a deluxe edition, but volumes 2 and 4, since 2015 at least, have been out of print. And it's hard for a collector who likes hardcover editions, oversized hardcover editions, to put a collection together, because 2 and 4 are so hard to find, and they are getting people on Amazon and eBay are asking crazy money for them, and all we want is just a nice oversized hardcover collection. Make, let's see, 1 through 5. I'm guessing that's 2 omnibuses, or since you're making 1 through 5 of Why the Last Man an omnibus, you can make 100 Bullets a big 1,600-page, 1,500-page omnibus. Again, guarantee cash register sounds, it will sell. I promise you. People love 100 Bullets. Critical darling, fan darling, cash register darling, 100 Bullets. It will sell. Now here's something I made myself. I had it bound together with all the ads in it and everything. I made my own omnibus. I had it bound by a guy, and then a binder. He put it together. I made a Batwoman omnibus. It's standard size because I put it together from the comic books. But it's the JH Williams, the Greg Rucka J.H. Williams run. So it does have the ads in it and everything. It's just comic books put together, bound together with a hardcover made of it. But it's my own little omnibus, and it just shows what can be done. You make now you've got Elegy, I know, but I have it's the complete 2009-2010 Detective Comics run, issues 854 through 863. So this would probably, I mean, I called it an omnibus because it's the complete run. You could make a deluxe edition of this include all the issues, and this is what it would look like. It would look really cool. So I'm not selling this or anything. It's not illegal. I made just one copy for myself, but this is what it would look like, and it would look really cool. I also did, now this I made for myself from collected comic books, and it's standard size. It's got all the ads in it, and I had a hardcover made for it. I had 4 of these made that collected all of Green Lantern Corps. It's gigantic size. This will sell out before anything else sells out. People are frothing at the mouth for Green Lantern Corps to go alongside their Jeff Johns Green Lantern issues. Now, I had this made myself. I'm not selling it. I've had it made myself. I had 4 hardcovers made from all the floppies that I had, and it's a wonderful experience to read this alongside the Jeff Johns Green Lantern. You make omnibuses out of Green Lantern Corps, 100% guarantee it sells for you, or you can come and smash 2 of my bombshells in my collection. I promise you. That's right. It sells, or you can come smash 2 of my bombshells. And I love my bombshells. So, Green Lantern Corps is a guaranteed seller for you. Those are some of my ideas for you, DC. Those will all be guaranteed sellers. I'm willing to sacrifice bombshells if they don't sell. My name's OmniDog. I'm on OmniDog's Vault. You know how to get a hold of me. If you want to smash my bombshells, you put those things out, I guarantee they'll sell. So God bless you, DC. Give it a try. To my fans out there, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please give me a like. And DC, look below at the comments, because I bet I've forgotten some things that the fans want themselves to see put in omnibus format. They will let me know in the comments below. So they'll give you some ideas too. So, thank you for watching. And if DC sees this, thank you for watching. Peace and love. Peace and love.